The President's wife is known by the title First Lady. What are the duties and responsibilities of the First Lady? Who is the First Lady if the President is not married? The President's wife has not always been known by the title First Lady. George Washington's wife, Martha, was known as Lady Washington. Other early presidents' wives were greeted with various titles, ranging from Mrs. Presidentress to Mrs. President. The earliest use of the term First Lady can be found in 1838 in an article referring to Mrs. Washington. The title continued to gain recognition throughout the late 1800s. In 1911, a play titled First Lady of the Land, which was about Dolly Madison, further popularized the term. By the time Eleanor Roosevelt became First Lady in 1933, the term was being regularly used to describe and introduce her. The First Lady has no official duties, but the role that the First Lady has played has varied greatly over the years. Some First Ladies have been very active during their husband's presidency, while others have chosen to remain out of the spotlight. Each First Lady is different with her own unique personality. Therefore, each has chosen to handle the position in her own way. The most notable role played by the First Lady is that of White House hostess. She will help organize official functions and ceremonies which take place at the White House. Of course, she is expected to attend many social gatherings and dinners during her time as First Lady. Some First Ladies have taken a much more active role in their husband's administration. For example, Edith Wilson, wife of Woodrow Wilson, took over many of her husband's routine duties after he suffered a stroke in 1919. Eleanor Roosevelt made many public appearances in place of her husband. Franklin Roosevelt was confined to a wheelchair and was thus unable to easily and regularly travel around the country. Mrs. Roosevelt also hosted a weekly radio program and wrote a newspaper column in which she touted her husband's agenda. Hillary Clinton, wife of President Bill Clinton, also spearheaded an effort to reform the nation's healthcare system. Many other First Ladies have taken on causes independent from their husband's presidency. For example, Lyndon Johnson's wife, Lady Bird, advocated beautifying the nation's cities and highways. Nancy Reagan, wife of Ronald Reagan, started the Just Say No anti-drugs campaign. Both Barbara Bush and Laura Bush encouraged literacy, while Michelle Obama began a campaign targeting childhood obesity. Not every First Lady has been the wife of a president. There have been numerous times when the role has been filled by someone else. Martha Jefferson Randolph, daughter of Thomas Jefferson, fulfilled the role during Jefferson's presidency. Jefferson's wife had died in 1782, many years before he became president. Emily Donaldson was the niece of Andrew Jackson. She served as First Lady in place of Jackson's wife, Rachel, who had died in 1828. Zachary Taylor and Benjamin Harrison also had daughters fulfill the role of First Lady. Harriet Lane served as First Lady during the presidency of her uncle, James Buchanan, who was a lifelong bachelor. Also, Rose Cleveland served as First Lady during the presidency of her brother, Grover Cleveland. Today, the First Lady has become a major figure in American society. She is frequently the subject of news stories and can even have an impact on fashion trends. The role has become so significant, she even has her own staff. The office of the First Lady includes a chief of staff, a press secretary, a social secretary, a chief floral designer, and many other positions.